I'll say action. Action. Action.
Alright, we're live.
Yeah, well, we're not live. We're not live. We're recording.
We're recording. Alright, we're recording.
Hello there, fellow
Hello
citizens of America, unless you're not American, but I think you're all American. Actually, I think
I'm pretty sure
one
you're all
person from the Philippines, or was it Guam, I think subscribed to my channel. So if you're the person from Guam who's watching this, hello there.
I mean, he might have just subscribed and not watch it.
Yeah, that's also
Might have watched your announcement.
Very possible. Okay, anyway. Hello there, fellow citizens. Today's topic for Season 1, Episode 1 is DLCs.
Why are we video game deals? Are we really gonna do, are we gonna really put this as episodes and seasons?
Sure, why not? I don't know.
You know what? That'd be pretty cool. Whatever, I don't know.
Anyway, Juicy probably should have skipped the first minute of the video, because this is where it starts. Video game DLCs. Downloadable content. Not mods. They're different than mods. We're not talking about paid mods or anything.
Okay, no. Well, we have a friend, Gnome the Bard, who plays
He's called
Sims.
Lombardi now, I don't know.
Lombardi, right. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he was telling us about how expensive all the Sims 4 DLCs are.
Apparently, The Sims 4, for all the DLCs, it burns about $600 in your pocket. And now The Sims 4, outright, just seems like a good game. But when you look into all the DLCs...
I mean, there's even a DLC to get a dog.
There's a DLC for weather. There's no weather in the game unless you buy a DLC.
That's ridiculous.
That's stupid. That is
really stupid. Honestly, though, I mean, it's like, if I wanted to do a life simulator game, I would expect my minimum standards would be that you have dogs and weather incorporated into the base game.
Yeah, see, I'm not making the argument here that DLCs are a bad thing. DLCs they can be good if done properly. But when doing stuff that should have been in the base game that's really basic, like weather or pets for a simulation game, for example, it's just, you shouldn't have that in a DLC.
And it makes sense why developers want to make DLCs. It creates a steady stream of money for them so that after the initial release of the game, they can continue to make money to support their company, because we don't want them going out of business. They still make the games that we all enjoy.
Yeah, it gives us sort of renewed interest in the game. And that's why games can keep on going for long periods of time. A few games.
Universalis 4, the game I'm currently obsessed with, was released, I think, in 2012 or 2014. Still going strong, which is pretty cool.
Hoi 4 and a bunch of games are. It's from 2016. I don't personally play this game. I've had my eyes on it. But Victoria 2 since 2012, and these are great games. But I'm just saying,
some of the DLC stuff is kind of ridiculous for it.
It's such small adjustments.
Let's use Crusader Kings 2 as an
Crusader
example.
Kings 2. Crusader Kings 2
recently, with the announcement of Crusader Kings 3, they made Crusader Kings 2 free, so that you could go get it for free, be lured in to buy.
I did that. I came in, I saw, I'm like, Crusader Kings 2 is a great game, and I'm like, I'm gonna get this. Did not even realize just how many DLCs there were, and how there's such simple, small things.
There are $300 worth of DLCs.
So it's like you're buying a free game, but the game also costs $300.
Haven't you ever wanted a Finno-Ugric unit pack? Why don't you give us $2 for that? Military Orders unit pack. That's another reskin. There are literally a million music DLCs, unit pack DLCs,
Oh, in my opinion,
Persian portraits,
music packs
music
and
and like
prop packs.
Dynasty Shield packs. Let's all pay $2 for the Dynasty Shields of
In my
Charlemagne.
opinion, I like to I feel like music packs and prop packs are different because I feel like if you're buying that essentially like honestly it's like not necessary, so I feel like
And
it's not
I don't
as
know. I
bad.
just feel like unit packs. I feel like there's already stuff on the Steam Workshop, assuming you use
That's
Steam,
true. That
not the
is true.
Paradox Store. But there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of mods on the Steam Workshop that do give you reskins. So I mean, I guess it's an. I'm not sure. I don't have any coding experience, but maybe it's an easy way to just pump out a DLC for people to buy. But I mean, someone could easily make a mod about that. I mean, someone made like an entire rework mod for EU4, Mayu, and taxes, and that's like an entirely different game,
It,
and that's
it
free.
it's amazing what modders will do. Mods, I'm gonna say that right, can be 10 times better than the DLCs. Mods can just completely just rework the game and design
Yes,
completely else,
entire,
and for
and
free usually, unless it's a paid
and
mod.
yeah, and mods can do a lot of cool things. Like I don't know, maybe they can give you cool unit models or cool character portraits or
An
cool
alternate
other
history,
things.
maybe, for example,
Yeah,
like
or one thing that mods can do, they can get music for you. Or if you don't even want to download music, there's stuff like Spotify where you can create your own music playlist. They can just play in the background
it's
while playing your video games.
to give some examples. So, in terms of DLCs are different than pay to win, and that's something that you need to understand. DLCs, while they may affect your gameplay, like personally, they don't really affect like a multiplayer experience.
Yeah, because at least Paradox Interactive, which is the main example, Paradox, at least they allow, at least they did the thing where everyone uses the DLCs that the host has enabled so that it's not, so you don't have stupid things like person A gets to use special mechanics from X DLC, but since person B didn't shell out $20 on DLC launch day, they don't get access to those features.
DLCs, personally, in my opinion, they don't even seem to go down in price from launch. If you don't catch a DLC in Sam on
Like
sale, it's always like a good decent $20.
yeah, like the Europa Universalis for Art of War expansion came out, I don't know, I think it came out in 2015, which is nearly 5 years ago, and it is still $20.
Same with Snowfall, which is in City Skylines, and for City Skylines, Snowfall. Now, in a city simulation game, you would expect to have snow in the base game.
I would
Snow.
expect to have snow in the base game, just like how I would expect to have weather cycles and weather mechanics in the base game of a life simulator.
Now, to give like an example, to be fair, DLCs can be done well. Because,
They can be
an
done well.
example,
Let's look
a
at Total
DLC
War
is
Three Kingdoms.
it's an expansion. Now, going away from Paradox games, I'm sure you've all heard of the racing game of Forza, and it has expansion packs that are expansions. They're DLCs that are expansions. They do nothing. You can you can't even get like extra cars in the game. You have no advantage over anyone else. All you do is have a different map. Lego DLC, everything turns to Legos. So there's no key advantage, and the key is if it's a multiplayer experience and there are DLCs, advantages just no.
Like, how would I say this? A lot of mobile games are notorious for being heavily pay to win. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this mobile game I'm about to bring up. It's not very well known. It's
The one
called
I would bring up.
Clash of Clans.
Yeah.
Not sure if you've ever heard of that one. If you don't buy I played it once, and if you don't buy the in-game gems, you have to grind. You have to really grind to advance
And
very far in the game.
it's not just mobile games. At the beginning of its release, Battlefront 2 was so notoriously paid to win. Like,
I mean,
could
EA has a
EA in
reputation of
general is
being
paid
pay
to
to
win,
win.
and at the beginning of Battlefront 2, to get X thing in the game cost 1,000,000 credits, which is impossible to get to. But it's only
You
99 cents to buy.
shell out like maybe if you shell out your life savings, go ahead and max out your account. What else? Also, another thing about DLCs that I feel like this is EU4, the game I'm currently obsessed with.
Hmm.
A lot of mechanics, a lot of really important global mechanics are sometimes locked behind some paywall that in a DLC that literally has nothing, that might only have one feature that you want. Like it used to be that the development system was locked behind $20, and the only other thing it gave you was expanded Buddhism mechanics, if you like to play Buddhist countries, and expanded Europe mechanics. And if you don't want that, sucks to be you, because development was literally the only way to spread into to like gain development is just something you need to play the game. And if you don't want to shell out $20 on update day, you better be willing to wait 3 months for the next Steam sale so that
Yeah,
you get this thing. I mean, it's
and
been integrated into the core game, thankfully, but
in terms of like whatchamacallit, what you were saying about like one little thing locked behind $20 of useless stuff. Good example of that is, and this is bringing up another good point, which is don't have DLCs with stuff that should have been included in the base game. For example, there's an entire DLC in City Skylines called Mass Transit, because monorails, cable cars, ferry boats. You would expect ferry boats in a city simulation game, but they don't come unless you get a DLC.
I mean, like, how am I supposed to build Saigon on the Mekong River Delta?
Well, that's quite specific, but I know.
What if
It's
I'm like,
sometimes annoying. It's
what if I love Vietnam and I want to build Saigon or something? No,
now
it's not Saigon anymore.
I have some
What's it
DLCs
called?
in a few
Is it called
games.
Ho Chi Minh City? What's it
No,
called?
that's not it. Ho Chi Minh is way up in the north.
Ho Chi
Saigon is in
Minh
the
is
south. I'm tempted to go do some
Saigon. Let's search this
Googling.
up on Google.
Saigon.
Gosh,
No, it is Ho Chi Minh City. It
it's Ho
is
Chi Minh. So the one,
Ho
oh
Chi
right,
Minh.
because the one in the north, what's the one in the north of Vietnam called? The one in the north of, what's the one in the north of Vietnam called again?
What do you mean?
There's one in, oh, Hanoi, the capital.
Hanoi, yeah, Hanoi. I always get
Hanoi,
Hanoi,
oh
and
yeah,
I
Hanoi. Oh,
I think whatchamacallit, I always get Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh is not the capital, but it's the
yeah,
most populous city. Okay.
except, oh wait, Ho Chi Minh isn't on the Mekong River Delta.
Well, that was
Um,
quite awkward. Let's forget he ever said that.
okay.
I'm not. Again, I
What
have
if you want to
DLCs,
build the channel, except it's a ferry?
except
What
except
if you want to
Brexit's a
build
thing
the
now.
Staten
So
Island ferry in City Skylines?
the thing is, I have a few DLCs. Examples of a few DLCs gone right in a few of these games. Park Life in City Skylines. It adds some stuff, and you're allowed to create your own parks and model them instead of having to, place a park in the game. Another
Stupid
one,
presets.
Natural Disasters, is, You don't need asteroids in your base game, so it works as like an add-on additional DLC.
Yeah, you don't need earthquakes and tornadoes and floods and whatever in
But
the
if you
base
want to
game.
simulate Los Angeles in 1994, then you're probably going to want to get the natural disasters DLCs.
Yeah. Or like, and there's some things in DLCs that go right. Like, in EU4, the only example I will be using, the only game I'll use it as an example in this rant. Let's take a look at the Russian DLC. What's it called? It's called Third Realm. There is no global mechanic in there that you would need to buy it for. That one is truly optional if you enjoy playing in Russia.
A
I
lot
mean,
of, you go.
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead, Lucas.
What you're saying is a lot of DLCs are targeted, and I feel like targeted DLCs are a good thing because they're targeted to a specific type of player, and you don't need them in the game.
And like the government reform system in EU4 recently got expanded into the base game, but it used to be locked behind a paywall in another DLC called Dharma, which focuses on India. And in EU4, I enjoy playing in India as a region. So I probably would have still gotten that DLC even if government reforms weren't in it, because I just enjoy playing there because it's because of the region it's specific to.
I also get that DLCs eventually get released for free. I do
Well,
understand that. I mean, they
do
don't
they though?
necessarily.
They integrate mechanics only when it's needed in the base game. The only reason I think why Paradox
I,
included the government reform system into EU4 was to make governing capacity work for free to players.
I understand whatchamacallit, uh, like having whatchamacallit, some unnecessary mechanics behind a paywall. Like I don't know if you could give an example from EU4. I'm not a big EU4
The
person.
EU4 DLC, Rule Britannia, has a bunch of mechanics like Anglicanism, or some stuff about the Industrial Revolution, which you don't really need to play the game. That's locked behind the paywall, and that's totally cool. Until the most recent 1.30 update, when they added a new institution that makes you want coal so that you can spawn the institution, which is okay, but it's a really region specific DLC. So why would you put that in the base game?
Yeah,
Serious. Anyway, the rest of the DLC before the 1.30 update used to be super region specific to the British Isles. I don't enjoy playing there, so I probably wouldn't have gotten it. I'm probably still not gonna get it for a while.
and I feel like yeah, sales like they make you want to just get all the DLC. When you see a sale and you see all the DLCs for such like high percentage off, you're like, oh, it's like 50% off, but then it's still
Not even not,
$150 or
not
something.
even 50% off is enough to justify splurging on
You need
DLC.
like
At least
75.
75%, and these are from some budget gamers right here.
The budget gamers.
Yeah, budget gamers. But you need for me to justify it, I would say you need at least 75% off to justify buying all the DLCs in one go.
I'm trying to think of, do you know any examples of a game that's like, that does DLCs well? I
No, no, I just cannot think of one.
and
Seriously.
this is kind of sad. It's like
Or I have
every
an
single
idea.
company.
Total War Three Kingdoms. It was released a year ago. Currently, it has $40 of DLC split up across. Oh no, no wait, not Total War. Civ 6. That actually does DLCs okay. You don't need every leader as long as you have the skill to pull off a victory. I would argue that in Civ 6, What matters more is not what matters is not the leader that you pick. Is your skill at the game. An ideal leader for you to play complements your skill. Your skill does not complement the leader's advantages. Like if you wanted to, if I wanted to, I could pull off a religious victory in Civilization 6 without using a religious leader. Like I could do one as I don't know, Catherine de Medici. I once got a domination victory as Gandhi,
Look,
and he
look,
benefits from being at peace.
look. That DLC should not make your skill. It should complement it. You should not become skillful because you bought this thing. It should not give you any distinct advantage.
Yes, it should not. I mean, but there's some things you can just not. There are some achievements that I feel like would be infinitely easier to accomplish in EU4 with with DLCs. Like and some of them require DLCs entirely, which kind of makes sense. I mean,
You
they
know,
want you to buy,
with
but it would be significantly easier to pull off a world domination with a bunch of DLCs, so that you can benefit from stuff like army professionalism, trade policies, yada yada yada. You can benefit from expanded religious mechanics, so that whatever religion you choose can help you in wars or stabilizing your nation. If I just I don't know, if I owned the Cradle of Civilization DLC, which is like the Islam DLC plus the Middle East, it would be significantly easier to pull off a domination victory with a Muslim nation, because then I could benefit from army professionalism, which is in that DLC. I could benefit from expanded religious mechanics, which is in that DLC.
look, hold on. I'm just gonna. There's a balance. So if I try to put this on my finger and actually balance it, there is a balance. Like between this side is you need to add some content, but at the same time and it needs to affect the gameplay, but at the same time it doesn't want to affect it
Make
as
content
much
that
that
you
it
need
just
people to
flips
buy.
over that you
You
need to
want
buy it.
you want content. You need to make content for your games that people want to buy, so that you can sustain your business and people can play the game. Or you can just not have content at all. Or you could
And
just add a bunch of content that people need, yet people have to pay for it.
it's hard to get that balance, but companies, not countries, almost lean to the, oh, let's just put all the content that you need in the paid DLC, instead of the,
Or
oh, well, there's no content,
one way to describe, I feel like one way to describe Paradox Interactive games is a half-finished game you
Yeah,
pay $40 for, that you then spend another $200 to buy the complete game.
I have
The total
nothing
price
against
tag, the
Paradox.
total price tag for EU4 base game plus the major DLCs comes up to nearly $265. So if
200 for City Skylines, over 300 for Crusader Kings. It's stupid. It's
Well, no,
stupidly just.
Crusader Kings, I would argue, has a lot of stupid DLCs that you don't, well, not stupid DLCs,
Well,
but ones
just
you
that you
really
don't
wouldn't
need.
need as much, like a Charlemagne Dynasty Shield.
Well, I mean,
That floats your boat.
no offense if you like to play as Charlemagne Dynasty.
Uh, I mean, if that floats your boat, go ahead and buy it. But guess what? I ain't buying that, probably because CK3 is coming out soon. But
Well,
even if
Secret
it
3 is a bit
weren't,
expensive.
yeah, $50. I mean, it's not 60, but yeah, no, 50 is definitely more than any Paradox Interactive game. But yeah, I would say Paradox releases unfinished games that unfinished games that you then have to pay $200 for.
And no, Paradox, it's not specifically only Paradox. We're just using it as an example because it literally does it like it's one of the
Alright, the
worst.
major expansions of Crusader Kings would amount to $180. Over $200 if the game were no longer free.
And it just
one
kind
of
of
the
triggers
stupid
me.
things about Crusader Kings that Paradox has not done in any of the other games is that you are just not able. You are physically unable to select a nation and play as it unless you have certain DLCs. You need to pay
That triggers me.
$10 to play as a republic.
That triggers me
I
for
mean,
sure.
do
It's
you want to
just
play as a nomad? You better hands over $15 for that.
yeah.
You want to play as any nation in the Far East? Give us $15. You want to play as any pagan nation? Give us $20 or whatever.
Look.
Wait, because there's two different DLCs for pagan nations.
Look. I mean,
$10 if you want to play as a Muslim character.
it's not okay to force people. Well, it's a sense. Now you may think, oh, well, why you don't have to get these DLCs, so why you complaining? But these you do in a way.
These
If
are
you play
games that
these
we are
games,
passionate about playing, and
you'll realize that you need these.
you don't need them. But if
But
you're passionate about playing a game, you're gonna want to play the full game.
okay, well, I think that we should probably wrap this up because we're
Alright,
nearing
we're gonna wrap it up here.
half an hour.
Time
So,
for some self-promotion time. Subscribe to Lucas Bromstein on YouTube, Alfusion on YouTube, and this channel, of course. Like this video, share it with your friends, and do other cool things. We have websites, links in the description.
okay, yep, I'm totally gonna remember to do that, and in the right corner, totally, because I'm totally gonna remember to do this. There are gonna be things that pop up in the right corner that are, gonna have our channels and our
You don't have to do it in the
websites and
right
stuff.
corner. You can just put it in the description. I made it easy for you.
Well, whatever. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next
Signing
time.
off. Cue the cool outro music that I know Lucas can find.